Fuck. They never felt like me. Tonight you just don't give a fuck. Tonight I'm just tweaking for what? That floor. Tonight. Maybe I think we should keep it brief and head out to the bed. She just about that. Jody can't relax. She said the man make music too, but my shit just pass. Swear they be so accurate. I got your stuff gag with it. Melodies on accident. She said, baby boy, please don't stop. I swear you're meant for this. Just might make some envelope this. If you keep your circle tight like this, but see you're sliding in. Sight, you can't reel me in. I'm numb, I can't feel it nice. And when I say I'm lit, I mean present tense. Big tsunami, penthouse, poppy vibe, do eloquent. Right or wrong, I'm still gon' pop shit for my brethren. And I won't pop out to the function if I can't bring my weapon in. I got a shorty, but all of my bitches know all of my bitches. They came on their business. I hop in the store and I cook up the dishes. I fresh out the oven like, where's my man? Why wouldn't this great thing murder the kid? I'm up in the penthouse, cleaning the smithing. We live the life, we gon' pay the price.
This is going to be a little bit of a strange episode today. Well, it'll be the first of a few, I guess. Definitely tell me if this affects a bit much on the it's been one of the new ones I've been developing, but I felt like talking about the future of VR kind of while, interacting in a VR world, I guess you'd call it. Yeah, I've been playing Fortnite for a few years now. I think I waited a year after the initial release to wait for the bugs to kind of, clear themselves out. God bless those developers. They worked night and day for months to make this game quasi-stable for a while, especially with all the crazy features that they've got. But it's, I don't know, like, in a lot of ways, these video games serve as escape while encouraging, better habit creation and a whole host of, there are all these like ancillary benefits just having, joy in your life, even if it's not necessarily the most, how do I say, tangible joys. I mean, it's been one of these big battles over the future of NFTs. The lack of tangible value really irks a lot of people, but what's the tangible value of a dollar? As long as the system is based on fiat, like, do you have faith in the artists, or would you rather have faith in the Federal Reserve? A centralized currency controlled by people with interests not aligned with yourself. So, okay, let's see. Heavy shotgun based on my frame rate. That will be very useful. Yeah, I need to figure out the settings for live streaming, recording, and adding these crazy visuals on top of everything, but I enjoy it quite immensely. I wonder if you can tell which screen I'm looking at. A bit of the, I've got a dead teammate. Oh, can I recover? Yeah, that's not a good idea. Yeah, this lag is going to be a problem. Oh, I will not last very long. I got too much lag to actually play any sort of strategic game. I'd have to wait them out and use what few resources I've been able to harvest. So here's a strategy for now. Get off to the side, and let me close off all these extra things using my RAM. Alright, so over the last few years, I've been studying. Well, let's say not years. It's been months, but honestly, truthfully, I've been studying this VR stuff for a couple of years now. I started working on VR tools, or let's say creative tools meant for VR about 5 years ago. The idea being to help in the creation of large virtual environments, less like Fortnite, because Fortnite is aiming for a certain amount of realism. Like, so my interest being science fiction, fantasy, genre-wise, I was looking for ways to make more, sci-fi, fantasy, exciting textures, and I mean that definitely happened in the process of all this. But then comes the kind of odd one out in terms of business development, all the marketing that has to go with any decent idea. 'Cause, I mean, there's always this idea that if you build it, they will come, and then magically, yada yada yada, things work out for the business. But really, like, it takes a lot of sharing and caring, and not even, you know, as a joke, like literally, what drives, interest is enthusiasm and energy. So, I mean, even finances are just a representation of energy in one form or another. Well, mostly cooperative energy, but objective. Like we pay cooperative energy for things like there we go. Damn. Yeah. Number two is not a bad place to be, but still means you're shit. Alright, so that was me in a teams match, and my entire team had been slaughtered, and I was the last survivor. Like, it wasn't gonna last very long. Let's see. Stay with team. Oh, I'm surprised they'd even have faith in me. Alright, let's see if we can close some of this other BS down. Alright. So, as this journey has progressed beyond the basics of, let's start a business, let's sell a product, but the product had to be developed for an ecosystem that didn't exist yet. So it came down to an algorithmic understanding of, what it is to create a texture, what it is to create a piece of artwork that's visually engaging. Where do the eyes follow in terms of studying a given, space for anything, really? And so it drove me into creating a few of these sort of fun textural spaces. Like even now, like I'm playing with a light, and using the light allows me to reveal new and interesting parts of my environment because of a phenomenon called it's called structured lighting in some circles, but it's me in front of a green screen in different settings. So I've got red lighting and a green screen. So let's go. Let's thank the bus driver and get back on this game. Alright. So, I don't really like to play for kills. Well, it's not really that I don't like to, it's more that playing for kills just tends to get me killed. So, I like to play a little bit more strategically. And do my best to avoid damage while being in an advantageous position to deal it. And I mean, I guess it's basic strategy 101. I think it was the art of war is like the supreme art of war is to be able to take down an opponent without having to fight them. So I kind of initiated that philosophy a little bit into Fortnite. And it's kind of happening as well within the metaspheres, well, the world of virtual reality rather, where there's a lot of hype, but it's hype generated by the institutions. And like humanity knows when something is good for them, generally speaking. I mean, we know when something's addictive. We know when behaviors aren't actually conducive to our, betterment of our lives. Like, even the, like, let's say, addictive quality of video games is tempered by the fact that they make it easier to focus. Like, as somebody with maybe undiagnosed ADHD, but yeah, it's, I mean, it helps give a space for thinking complex thoughts without having the pressure of, you know, having to explain too much in terms of what you're thinking and why you're thinking. It's nice enough to sit with your thoughts, but you get bored and distracted sitting with your thoughts for long enough. Like, I used to meditate for an hour at a time and then work my way up to 3 hours just to see what it was like. And I discovered that a longer meditations, though you would come out of them feeling, you know, a certain type of relaxed. I wouldn't call it energized, so to speak, but definitely looser, limber. I mean, it's like working on the focus muscle of the brain, but only focusing on boring things. I mean, it's a useful skill to have, but it's not exactly, you know, something I'd want to actively practice. So one thing I've been, taking joys with is working with technologies that I actually enjoy and find fascinating, and then carving that interest out of, living a healthy enough daily life to, just live and love what I do. Um, Clearly, it's not always the best thing for us to, spend hours playing video game. I mean, I was shocked to learn that the average gamer spends 6 hours a day playing games. But then well, being during the pandemic, these statistics were, I guess, made public. There was a bit of a caveat to be mentioned there, but even like 6 hours a day is a quarter of your life on the daily. So there's got to be some way of justifying how much time we spend on these virtual environments and whether or not they're actually worth the stress that they put us under. And it's strange calling video games stressful, but like Fortnite, for instance, is one of the games with the highest average heart rate. Though not the way I play it, obviously, but if you're going out for kills and you're trying to maximize both survivability and slaughter, like, it takes a high heart rate to maintain such a position for that long. Yeah. Alright, so we are now in a decent position material wise. So, like, one of the things that drew me specifically to working on through with Fortnite has been just the character designs. Like third person graphics for video games are great ways to allow the viewer to identify with the character, even though they're outside of the character. It's a eye over the shoulder sort of moment for all of us, where we can choose our design, we love what we look like, and it makes the game that much more fun to be immersed in. But what happens is, as well, I guess you'd say the hedonic variety sense. There's a word for it that's escaping me at the moment, but what's happening is effectively changing characters adds a sense of novelty that was never there. It's still the same game. There's no real advantage, but especially as somebody that's good at, I guess, visualizing, like taking the load off, visualizing yourself into a character makes it a lot easier to run the algorithm for collecting whatever it is, resources, positions, In my position, I mean, let me pop this in. Yes. So, alright, I'm a little bit distracted, just trying to carry over this mess and avoid the storm. Yeah, that's what I was trying to do. Oh my god, how am I already out of gas? I've used up half my fuel reserves in a very, very short amount of time. So this is not good. Definitely for lack of smooth controls, but we'll figure it out. So, the future of the metaverse, you know, ideally be able to have, gamified paid positions, right? You know, productivity bonuses, objective goals, like daily quests, that sort of expansion into what it means to work a 9 to 5 or a regular position, and then having a system in place to assign those sorts of values. Shit, I'm getting shot at, and I have 0. Okay, I know where they are, but I can't. Damn. I guess that's all that's left, is to go forward. But yeah, gamification really does go a long way in terms of boosting interest into a topic, but I can't really see it being as productive in a work environment unless the work environment is fully not just immersive, but beyond just customizable, but engaging. So easily set up to be engaging for a given user's tastes, right? And I mean, this is part of what's happening here. Like, these are fully customized settings that I'm using right now. Like, I don't really know of anywhere else that lets people use sort of filters like these. And because of that, it's made business much more interesting, to say the least. I mean, I enjoy my Zoom meetings now more because I get to play with fun, crazy effects and things like that. But it's not what I'd say is it's not the game in and of itself, but it's about boosting relative dopamine levels. Like, is it more fun than just spending your average day in the office going over meetings? Or, like, is a meeting more fun if you can decide the texture of the meeting, if you can rearrange the patterns on your colleagues' faces, if you can just add a little engagement to those dull moments? So I mean, part of this realization came as well when I was in college and taking I was a software engineer, on the CS track doing machine learning. And I decided, well, I was into computer vision at the time, but in order to get computer vision right, I realized that there's a problem. Like, I can't code anything unless I can do the process myself. Like, I can't, like, I mean, I guess it's just the way code works in general. Like, you're translating a process for something else to do. So if you don't understand the process intimately, it's just not going to work out, right? So the same applied very much for drawing, painting, making art. Like, figuring out what I actually want to see in the art went a long way toward making my artwork much more engaging, but also went a long way into improving. Well, I wouldn't say improving my art, much more in terms of understanding what psychological impacts are more likely to translate across a community in art. Like, part of the adventure of being an artist is drumming up your own emotions and converting them into, song, dance, product that, engages well with a community that would likely share, buy, subscribe to your product, right? So trying to figure out an analog for this in the virtual reality realm became its own tricky sort of dance, because like you can sell skins as, develop like one-off products that can be sold in multiple amounts to any number of people. I mean, I find them interesting. I find skins awesome. Like the right skin really doubles, triples the engagement of any given game, right? But no matter what, you can have a great skin, but you'll still get tired of it. So what do you do in that scenario, right? And it's interesting. I'm not being offered the option to leave this game. Most likely because my reception is shit right now. So we'll keep it going.
Alright, my grandma don't ganja, my uncle the sponsor, so now she be like, Lord forgive her. My uncle was a coke dealer, they raided the trap and he jumped in the river. Tried to hide for about 3 hours, but he caught pneumonia, died of the shivers. White hoe from Macedonia, play with a nosy and next me to bone her. My pajama Hugo Boss, when I think it all, she know who in charge. Skinny nigga living large, say a boy to the stars. Niggas get so out of character, straight up embarrassing, boy cool it down. But we really know up in the towns.
If you like this content, please like and share it. And if you want to see more, join the comments below. Tell us what you want to think and talk about. And definitely subscribe to the channel and hit the notification icon so that you get alerts whenever I drop anything new.